Ladies and gentlemen, today's the big day before Brawl Talk, and there's a lot to get into, a lot of uncertainties, and a lot of important speculation that needs to be done. Of course, before we get into anything, if you find this video helpful, be sure to subscribe to the channel. We have sneak peeks, Brawl Talk reaction right around the corner as well, so a lot of good stuff to come. All right, y'all, so much like we always do in these types of videos, we have a sneak peek photo over here on the BrawlStarRey social medias. We have the Brawl Talk thumbnail to get into and all the fun context stuff around it, titles, emojis, hashtags. And to be honest, this time around, it took me a very long time to get to recording this video once this came out because there is a lot of confusion going on as the speculation side of things. Wanted to wait, see what people are talking about, what are people thinking, to give you guys the most accurate information that I can. Getting into kind of the rollout here this morning, 3 hours ago, a storm is coming. Brawl Talk tomorrow, a sakura flower, lightning bolt, and then the hashtags. This time around, we're getting the name of the season, Katana Kingdom. Now, we will be diving into some of the Easter eggs and the sneak peeks in this photo later on, as we always do in this type of video. But first, let's get on over to the countdown timer of the Brawl Talk. All right, y'all, starting things off pretty hot here. The title of the Brawl Talk, a new Brawler Rarity. My goodness, getting a new rarity here in this game, and we'll go over speculation as to what I think the possible outcomes would be for a new Brawler Rarity in this game. But with the title out of the way, let's get into the nitty-gritty of the thumbnail. Thumbnail is looking pretty dang good, but raising an eyebrow for me for possible collaborations and what could be coming in this update, given the app icon and all that good stuff. Now, given the context that we are kind of going into like a Feudal Japan themed season here for the main first season of this update cycle, I think that gives us quite a bit of context as to what this type of brawler might be like and which family it should be fitting into. I think it would be a brawler fitting into the Kenji family and possibly like a girl in a kimono with different things in the hair being pinned up. Scrolling through Twitter, I happened to stumble across this rendition. Really good here that I think makes quite a bit of sense of a girl brawler fitting into the Kenji trio. Not only that, in the sneak peek photo, the pins that are holding up Tara's hair in a skin that's coming out in the update is very reminiscent to what we're kind of seeing in that silhouette. The hair, the kimono, all that good stuff. So I think we kind of got the silhouette locked down. But then getting into the confusing part here, as you can see here, the app icon. The way that the app icon has been going, it represents obviously the very first season that we're going into, whether the collaboration, for example, was the Buzz Lightyear or Toy Story. We had a Buzz Lightyear themed app icon, but this time around it's green and resembling like a demonic skull, right? Now, I don't think, you know, the Godzilla collaboration or the mutations possibly coming back in this update is completely off the table, but having like a demonic or like the Feudal Japan, like demon masks and all that good stuff, that type of demon vibe here going on. It opens up a different kind of door for possibilities of a collab, which we'll get into further speculation as to what might make sense. But again, things are very up in the air right now. We don't really have a whole lot of context. As I was discussing in our video yesterday, it seems like the dev team is kind of holding this collab very close by and not really leaking things out with Easter eggs and stuff. Moving on to the metadata of the Brawl Talk thumbnail to get a little bit of further information if we can. I'm trying to kind of motor through this, seeing that I want to leave a good amount of time in this video for speculation later on, so make sure to stay tuned. The tags that they end up using for this video literally give us no information. I'm telling you, dude, there is like very little room for speculation this time around. It's crazy. But then for further information, it looks like Chosen Network is reporting that the duration of this Brawl Talk is going to be 12 minutes and 15 seconds, a metric that can be somewhat useful sometimes when Brawl Talks come out as to gauge like how much content they might have. Taking a look at some of the more recent durations of the Brawl Talks here, it seems like it could be a little bit of a longer one in comparison. The Demons versus Angels update was 9 minutes. The Toy Story one was 8 minutes. And then the most recent one was about 10 minutes. So maybe a little bit more to talk about in this one. But now it's time to get into the sneak peek photo and speculation segment of this episode today. What could go down? So I guess kind of uncharacteristically this time around, this round of sneak peeks, it looks like they possibly are sneak peeking both of the new brawlers coming out in this update. Of course, we have the silhouette in the Brawl Talk thumbnail, but then we have two different eyes looking on from the slash marks that are coming out in this photo. We have this individual up here, which appears to be wearing like a mask or wearing heavy makeup, which we'll get into here in a minute. But then we have another one in the bottom left-hand corner as well. Not getting as much from this one, I guess, seeing that it's just the eye. It's being covered up by something, maybe like a mask, a ninja thing, like pulled up, maybe a sideway mask, kind of like Tara or something. I guess her whole face is covered up, but you guys get my gist. Or I guess, you know, it could be holding like a sword, a katana. Don't know. But with that being said, we very well could be seeing Kenji's trio being filled up completely in this update. Two brawlers fitting into that trio. I couldn't see, or I'm not getting any vibes for any of the other brawler families kind of fitting into this niche. But we'll have to wait and see on that one. Who knows? On top of that, there's really not a lot more. I guess we can mention the Tara skin that's coming. Looks like there's two opposing sides. If you guys remember the Kenji animation, Kenji was fighting against these like warring faction bad guys coming after him, robots. And it looks like that battle is kind of continuing, maybe like two opposing sides here. Kenji going up against the Tara on the, I guess, enemy side. Sounds like a pretty interesting concept for a season. But then here, taking a look at some of the other stuff that I guess we can piece out. Looks like Spike is sitting with someone at the sushi restaurant. They're being served. A lot of people were talking about this individual here. I'm not sure if this has a lot of importance. It could, but I was trying to rack my head around who it could be. I don't think we're getting three brawlers. A possible tip of the collaboration coming out. We can see a backpack there, some sort of like working backpack. I don't know. Looks like the person is wearing a headband, maybe like a ninja. But either way, they're being consoled by Spike and they're eating. We have like Sakura flower trees in the background. Makes a lot of sense if we're going into like a Feudal Japan themed vibe. We have this guy chilling out back here. I have no idea what the connection could be. Looks like a raccoon. Try to rack my head around it, but I don't know. But other than that, I don't think there's that much more to be pulled away from it. Not trying to downplay what we already got though. The sneak peeks, the Easter eggs in this photo are quite big. So let's try to piece some of this stuff together in speculation form. Kicking things off, I want to remind you all that this was a theme that the BrawlStar's dev team had hinted back when the surveys were being served out. It was the top one actually: Feudal Japan, samurais, ninjas, and I'm not sure how to say it, geishas? But you guys get the gist. If you guys have watched like Demon Slayer and stuff like that, there's a lot of this kind of stuff going on. That geisha character in the thumbnail could very well be this eye in the top right hand corner of the sneak peek or Easter egg photo with that heavy makeup, or it could be a mask, who knows. But this is giving me the silhouette brawler vibes. But then as for this one's a little bit more in the dark. If we're going on the context that there's like a war or like a warring faction going on here, maybe these guys are the good guys and then this one is going to be representing the other side, but we'll have to wait and see. Either way, suspecting that there's going to be two brawlers in the Kenji trio. Kind of moving one by one here through the big points and the speculation. Next up, the collab. What makes sense? As I said earlier on in the video, I don't think Godzilla something might, like, it still could come. Mutations might be coming back still, seeing that the logo is green. But I've seen a lot of speculation out there that a vibe like this very well could be fitting into like a possible like Demon Slayer collab. If you guys didn't know, Demon Slayer has been collabing with a lot of different things here recently. I believe they're collabing with the MLB, which is nuts. But they've definitely collabed with other games in the past. I believe Summoner's War was a more recent one. It's just hard to put your finger on when you start to get in the realm of that, seeing that we don't have any past examples of like going into like an anime collab. But then seeing that the app icon is like demon-esque, it could open the door for other like demonic games or more dark related games. It's hard to come up with an idea of what a collaboration would look like if it's trying to fit into a Feudal Japan theme. Your guys' guess is just as good as mine. It's very, very confusing. I definitely don't want to put a label or just say 100% certain that this collab is coming, because I don't think anyone really has a solid, crazy idea as to what it might be. But then moving along to the new Brawler Rarity portion of the interesting stuff coming out in this update. I think it can come in one of two ways. Number one, it could be related to the actual collab that we're getting, much like we saw with like a temporary brawler when Buzz Lightyear was here, maybe tied to the collab. But if not that, if we're looking more of like a permanent new rarity, I could see one fitting in between Mythic as well as Legendary. We kind of have this like weird ongoing problem in Brawl Stars right now where most new brawlers that are being released are either Epic or Mythic, and these rarities are getting very, very clustered and overrun. So I suppose to diversify that, it might make sense to like put one in between Epic and Mythic or Mythic and Legendary. But why I think it might be in between Mythic and Legendary is the fact that the price jump is quite crazy, if you ask me, the actual value of the brawler. I know the jumps in price is like doubling each time, seeing that Epic, 2 of them is basically the price of a Mythic, and then 2 of Mythics is a price for a Legendary, but that doubling aspect is quite a lot. So I don't know, man. I highly doubt they're gonna make a rarity that's more rare than Legendary anytime soon. It's just way too expensive for free-to-play players and just normal players out there. I could see a world where they did that, and every single time they released a new brawler in that rarity that's more rare than Legendary, people would riot. But those are my 2 ideas of what I could see a new rarity looking like. But that's pretty much all I can do here today, getting into it. We very well could be way wrong when it comes to speculating this time around because things are just very uncertain. But that's kind of the fun of this update, I would say. It's just going to be one big surprise once Brawl Talk does come out. So I would love to hear what you guys have to think, your speculations, your theories. And once again, be sure to stay tuned for that Brawl Talk reaction tomorrow and sneak peeks shortly after that. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you all, and we'll see you in the next one. Adios. Take care.